Still Dean Jackson.
I am still Joe Polish.
There we go. We're still in Tempe.
And yeah, this is now this is a continuation. So if you're listening on I Love Marketing, then you are hearing part 2 of a I Love Marketing meetup group. Where the first one what did we do?
First one.
Q&A?
We did Q&A.
Was it good?
Yeah.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
How many of you thought it was really dull? How many of you thought it was pretty awesome? All right, good. All right, see, we need vocal stuff though, because people can't see hands.
Yeah.
We need the little whistles and the
Clappers.
Okay. All right, so good. All right, so we've only got a handful of people here in the room, and so what we're going to do now is what, Dean?
Well, this time, let's go a little deeper with somebody's business, and let's kind of go and look at where there might be some breakthrough opportunities for a couple of people here.
Okay.
Rather than just do a bunch of questions.
Who has something where you need to address an opportunity that you want to reach, that you like some guidance on, a problem, a challenge? Yes. Say who you are, what you do, and get to the point.
Okay.
That is a horrible
My name
heart.
is Sandro Marino, and I am working with a adventure travel experience. And what I'm working on right now is changing the way I had originally put it up to really have it for a business travel adventure versus just the travel adventure itself. And
So you're trying to tie this into business travel adventure.
Right, exactly.
Versus vacation.
That's
Both.
That's never gonna
That's
work.
great.
Does anybody else have another business?
Well,
that's great for people
I
like
know
Joe.
it works. I know it works. Well,
Isn't that modern life, though? You know, now let's not even disconnect. Let's just keep them tied in and give them the illusion they're going to have a vacation
Yeah.
when in reality you're just going to work in a different place.
well,
Yes.
well, for example, Yannick Silver.
Right.
You're friends with
Uh-huh.
Yannick Silver.
Yep.
Well, I just learned of him within this last year.
Right.
But I put up my site and my travel excursions 4 years ago, but I left them open-ended, and my network is entrepreneurs and business people. So those are the people who are coming down and having these awesome trips that I put together for them in Brazil and Argentina. But being that I was living down there,
Ayahuasca brainstorming.
ayahuasca.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I have no idea.
No, it's sort of like some people
It's a
consider it
psychedelic.
medicine, other people consider it a drug, but yeah, no, there's just like there are literally groups that do spas like.
Oh, you mean
ayahuasca.
like in Ecuador and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that? Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
about that.
I was just
yeah.
trying to make a joke here.
So, and somebody told me about Yannick Silver, so I looked at his site and I saw how he's, more or less how he's packaged his
Right.
experiences. I don't know
Business
all of
adventures.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Or,
No, I've gone
you know,
on a couple
Oh, okay, you have, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what it's like, you have to prove you have $1 million, a $25,000 membership, and then the trip fees, right?
Yeah, so what he does is his niche is, guys that are kind of like him that want to,
They're upper echelon. They're already got it all together in their networking.
or at least they appear that they do.
Oh, right.
But
okay.
a lot of them do. There's a lot of real successful guys, and Yannick likes mixing business and goofing around and playing. He's a smart guy, and his whole thing is he ties it into, really cool trips, brainstorming and contribution. So he always tries to tie it into helping kids. So they'll do trips and they'll go in and they'll speak to young entrepreneurs in different countries and stuff like that. So he'll typically have maverick business adventures. Tying in, and what it does is it gives people an excuse to go, shoot guns, or go into Iceland, or go, jumping off bungee cords or zero-G flights, because they're not just doing the thing, they're also brainstorming, and they're also feeling like they're doing something cool because there's the contribution. So those are the 3 ways that he packages it.
Right. And so my thought is, I'm not sure how he's marketing it exactly. I know he has a lot of relationships, and through those relationships, I'm sure that's how he's.
Well, can you work direct? So I guess what's your hot seat though? Because is it promote and package your trips? Or
Right. Well, what I'm thinking is, maybe my trip should be focused not on the market that Yannick is, tapped into, but maybe the entrepreneur who's maybe at 6 figures and above. That is, at a point where they've made some money, but they still have a lot of, things to get past to grow, and do it, just similar to what Yannick's doing in networking.
Well, can you do joint ventures with someone like Yannick?
I would love to talk to Yannick about
And you
this.
organize really cool trips.
Right, and
Well,
I do trips different. Yannick doesn't do trips in the places that I would do them, like South America, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to call him right now?
It's probably too late.
Ah,
Yeah,
let's go. He's in Washington.
11:30.
Yeah, I'm Joe Polish.
Let's wake him up.
Sometimes I forget who I am here. All right, so you know what? Also, I am like a part owner now of Taste of Blue, which is a division of Bluefish, which is the highest level concierge service in the world.
I didn't know that.
And so I can hook you up with Steve Sims, who owns it, and they're starting a reality show. And basically, what his main target is, or Henrys, is what they're called. And they're high earners, not yet rich. So your target would be Henrys, high earners, but they're not yet rich.
That's what I'm
So they want to experience like a sort of, live like a millionaire, but they're not going to do it daily. They can't afford it, but they are very aspirational sort of characters, and it's kind of like, you can reach a lot of these people through, like guys that read Playboy, if they read it, shouldn't read it, but guys that read or subscribe to Playboy typically don't date a Playboy model. It's an aspirational sort of thing. People that read Rob Report typically are not rich. Some people are, but they're aspirational. So, you really, if you want to look at like status, aspirational sort of selling and stuff like that. And as far as Yannick's thing goes, Yannick is very marketing niched. So he goes after marketers. That's what,
Info marketers.
Yeah, I mean, he
Whatever, yeah.
talks about marketing. He loves direct response. He's a marketing guy.
Right.
So he's barely tapping into, so as long as you're not knocking him off, I mean, he
But,
probably,
yeah.
you could
Well, there's
probably
enough for
support each
everybody,
other. I mean,
right?
I would think, and here, let's call Yannick here.
But you run cool trips as well.
Awesome trips.
Right.
And everybody that's been on my trips said it was like the best trip they've ever been on.
Right.
Okay, what are we gonna say to him once he answers? Are you awake?
I'm sorry for waking you up.
You are now.
Let's see. We should put it by the microphone so people that I love marketing.
Yeah. It's ringing, see the level.
Is it picking up there? So one thing about, come on, you punk, pick up. All right, so for people that I love marketing listening, Yannick Silver is thinks he's much smarter and cooler than he is.
This is Yannick. I'm not around, so
I don't believe that.
Oh, it's Joe.
Do you have a website?
You want me to call him and see if he answers?
New lifestyle secrets.
Joe Polish calls at 11:30 at night. It can't be good.
Sure.
Okay, Yannick, go
Yeah.
to newlifestylesecrets.com. There's a guy that is here with us, Sandro, that we want you to potentially talk with about doing a JV. We are literally, you are at a live I Love Marketing meetup group, and this is also being recorded for ilovemarketing.com. So, Dean, what do you want to say to this punk since he didn't answer the phone?
I told him you wouldn't. I told him you wouldn't answer the phone at 11:30 at night. So we'll catch up with you. But dude, go check out this site.
Yeah, and anyway, if anyone is listening to I Love Marketing here, you can listen to our interview with Yannick because it's on ilovemarketing.com.
Yeah.
So, all right. Dean doesn't like you, Yannick. I just wanted to really tell you that. Okay. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's.
Thank you for the
Here's
effort.
how.
Thank you.
When we look at this, so if we're going to go through the 8 profit activators with you. If you're looking at your before unit, your during unit, or your after unit, which one do you think that you could use the most help with right now?
Well, right now, I think profit activator number 1 is redefining my target market.
Okay.
Is what realizing, because before I just left it wide open and I shared it with everybody I knew, and just I was getting referrals and just, but you know, it was like attorneys, real estate investors, and just random. I wasn't targeting any particular market.
And does it, I mean, is there, would it be okay to travel or to target adventure travelers? I mean, does it matter to you? Like, why?
No, well, I was thinking to make
is there
it
an element of the trip that is, you know, let's jump up to profit activator number 5 and deliver a dream come true experience.
Well, I'm thinking maybe like an industry specific. So let's say there's a group of real estate investors, or that we're going so they have a chance to meet other, you know, real estate investors where they can mastermind and create relationships and
is that the kind of trips that you do now, or are you talking about perhaps something that you might do? Do you do niche specific trips like that right now?
No, I haven't. But I would still do the same adventures, but target to make it a group specific, you know, so you know, the like-minded people in the same type of business, so they can network, mastermind,
like dentists,
create
chiropractors or something like that.
Exactly, and create relationships. Because one thing I've discovered through all the years of traveling that I've done is that once you travel with someone, you get to know them really, really well, and either you fall in love with them as a friend or a partner, and or you just know that you're not going to do business with them or whatever. But you know, I love everybody, so I always make friends. But
you should try doing a liver gallbladder flush with somebody. I've done that before once with someone in the room. It's a very bonding experience.
Wow, now that sounds personal.
Yeah.
It's personal. It's crazy.
Him and Dean will never go back to
It wasn't deep.
And
that would be a nightmare.
You know, yeah. So I had an experience with one of my clients who was a former mentor of mine, and who also became a very good friend of mine. And I was out of the country already for a couple of years, and we were in touch, you know, every few months, and he was curious to see where I was and what I was doing. And he got me on Skype one day, and he said that he had just lost a case over his business, which was a multiple 6-figure residual income, and he lost it all. And you know, for a while, I don't remember, maybe a year or so after that, he was, you know, looking at different business opportunities, how to recover his, you know, to make it again, and he got really depressed. And I said, you know, hey Larry, why don't you just come down? I'll put a killer trip together for you, man. You got to come down here and check this out. And I'm telling you, you're just driving yourself crazy up there in the same environment that, you know, you need to get away for a while. So go on a mini sabbatical, you know. And so I talked him into coming down. I tried to get him to go away for like a couple months at least. But he said, no, I can only do 3 weeks. Okay, perfect. So I designed a perfect trip for him. You know, a week in Florianopolis before Carnival. Took him to Rio for Carnival week in Rio, and then amazing time. And then we rented a car and went to some other beach towns, and then drove down the coast between Rio and Sao Paulo. And you know, during that experience, I said one thing. You know, I have one request, that we do not talk about business for the first week that you're down here. You need to just get it out of your mind. And I'm just going to show you an amazing time, and we're not talking business. And he said okay. And so, you know, the second week, you know, it was Carnival, so we didn't really talk too much about it. But you know, the last week when we had the road trip down the coastline, we started talking about a lot of things that he was looking at, and a lot of things. And during his experience, he saw some things in Brazil that made him. He has a business mind. He's always thinking of business opportunities and what have you. So through that last week, you know, we had some great conversations, and then you know he after 3 weeks he returned, and he started looking into business opportunities that we talked about while we were on that trip. Well, he eventually bought into a franchise based on an idea and a conversation that we had, and now he has 2 locations making $250,000 pieces a year, and he's looking to get 2 more in place. And that all came about, started with the conversations that we had on our trip, and now he's back to
Well,
where
see,
he was.
part of your, you know, your original thing is how do we set it up? It's like, you know, having a good story, a good message, you know, really around results that the trips, you know, it's not just a cool trip. In this guy's case, would he, you know, get on video and be willing to kind of tell how this was transformative to him?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, because you could call it, you know, for overwhelmed, successful people that just need to recharge their batteries, you know. You come up with, you know, something that the result that this trip is going to do, and you have people that can speak to it that are influential, and, you know, maybe he has a sphere of influence and can put together trips for you and things like that. But I mean, how long have you been doing this?
I started traveling in 2004.
Let me ask you a question. Are you doing this because it's like something you like, and so you're trying to take your lifestyle and build a business around it? Is it sort of like
I started it off as more of a hobby. I just put up a website and started promoting it. But now I think a lot of people can really, business-minded people. I'm a business person. That's my network is business people. I think they can really get a lot out of getting there out of their own backyard for a while to leave all the things that pull at them every day, so they can kind of clear out their past a little bit to open their mind up more for the future, make more room for the future, and all, at the same time go with people that are like-minded, so they can, you know, build new relationships, have awesome experiences, and, you know, create you know, possible joint ventures and whatever else out of it, you know, coming out of it. So I'm sure that's what happens with Yannick Silver's trips too.
I would say actually, because I'm happy to put you in touch with Yannick and see if you can organize something for him, because he's not like a travel agent. He's seeking out things to do.
He finds these kind of
yeah,
trips.
and so if you're able to assemble those, put them together, Tim Ferriss, who's speaking at my event in August, you know, if you organize a trip with Tim, you know, and he loves it. I mean, if you get, you know, I mean, I'm not ever going to extend that Tim will do this, because he very much shies away about promoting something unless he totally digs it. If something could be organized for him, and he really understands.
Right.
Really, he's a real good traveler. Oh yeah, he understands deals. You know, but if you can, you know, create something for a guy like him, you know, that one thing like that would be massive for the growth of your business. You know, I'll put you in touch with Steve Sims. Check out thebluefish.com and watch my interview with him that totally describes Bluefish. And after you do that. No, with Steve Sims, who actually owns the Sims. And listen to our interview with Yannick, because I think we talk about Maverick business. And Yannick, for the last 2 years, I've invited him to do the trips to Necker Island that I do. And so
I saw your interview with him and Marie.
Marie, yeah.
And Branson, of course.
Yeah, no, Marie's a good person too.
Yeah.
You know, for all her, you know, rich, happy, and hot, you know, groups.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Her stuff. And the funny thing is, speaking of Tim Ferriss, the first time I ever heard of Tim Ferriss and the 4-Hour Workweek, guess where I was? Florianopolis. What he talked about in his book.
Oh, wow.
I got a Skype call when I was in Florianopolis from a good friend of mine who's a real estate investor in 2007, just right after it came out. I was in Florianopolis. And my buddy's like, buddy Joe, he's like, Joe Loiacono, he says, Sandro, I can't believe this, man. I just picked up this book. And I started reading it, and I thought, you wrote it, man. Because you were just in Buenos Aires. I'm a dual citizen. I'm an Argentino and American.
Okay.
Family ties. And so I was just in Buenos Aires for like 6 weeks. And then I went to Florianopolis, got friends in Florianopolis. And he's like, dude, you were in Buenos Aires, you're in Florianopolis. And I'm like, what is this? I never heard of Florianopolis before. Next thing I know, I'm picking up this book that's talking about Buenos Aires and Florianopolis. It's a weird coincidence.
Right.
And you got to get this book, man. And that's how I discovered Tim Ferriss. So.
Yeah, and you know what you can do with things like that, because he has like a big, you know, he likes that book Vagabonding.
Vagabonding.
And yeah, Vagabonding. And you know, where you actually take books like that and you buy a bulk from the author and you actually mail them out as like legions for promoting your trips. But say, hey, if you want to, you know, organize trips that are like written about on page, you know, 72, you know, call this free recorded message. And you literally take the book as a grabber and you use that as a theatrical way to pitch people.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, remember the guy at the Platinum meeting, that Greg, who sends out the DVD player in a frying pan?
Yes.
You know, I just thought that was a clever idea. At the 25K meeting, one of the guys, he actually sells a software, and he actually sends out a platinum. Yeah, at the Platinum. What did I say?
25K.
Oh, Platinum meeting.
Yeah.
Platinum meeting. We just. See, I just changed things.
I understand.
And yeah, so he gets DVD players from Walmart, has a video in it, and he sends them out to decision makers. He pays $80 for the DVD and puts it in a frying pan and posts a note that says watch this video, and it's just very theatrical, and sends it FedEx, and people pull out a frying pan with a DVD player in it. How the hell do you not watch that DVD?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Anyone else have any suggestions? Anything you wanted to say?
Do you notice how? So you notice how when there's unclarity, when you're unclear about, you're kind of uncertain about what the target market should be. It's difficult to go the rest of the way until you get that clarity first.
Right.
Until you know and commit that yes, I'm going to do adventure travel trips for dentists.
Yeah, then we can
And
be
then you
saying,
just
okay,
say,
here's how we're going to
now
target
you can
dentists.
start thinking about,
Right.
you've selected that. Once you lock that in, it's like the first thing in the combination. You've got that. Now you can jump down and say, what would be a dream come true for a dentist? So who is it? Is it all dentists? Is it dentists who make $1 million? Is it dentists who are dental surgeons? I mean, who, you kind of narrow that down. But when you start thinking about it, what would be a dream come true? And I fear sometimes.
Gay dentists going on these trips.
Now there you go. Now there's that.
Much easier to do.
And guess what? The clearer you get, the clearer it is. The clearer you get on who your target audience is, that there's literally, gay dentist is the clearest target market that I've even heard suggested here.
I didn't even realize, it's not until you get into marketing where you actually see, because there are publications just for the gay market.
Right.
And and if you ask people that advertise, like any service, pick one, plumber,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say plumber, carpet cleaner, carpet, what's wrong with me? All right, so dentist, yes, chiropractor. No, but the actual ROI on specific niches and gay publications is through the roof. And I say it jokingly and stuff,
Right.
but it's like pick a niche. I mean,
How many people go on these trips? How many people, what's
Well,
the group size?
the largest group I've done so far has only been 3 people at a time.
Right.
But it could be, so it's all been very personalized
Yeah.
and what have you.
So, so is that the kind of thing, it seems
it doesn't
like,
have to be that small, because I just
are
haven't
they
been
3
marketing.
people, would you want to go on a trip like that with 3 people that you don't know? Or is it more people who get 2 buddies together and go?
Well, they can bring their friends too if they want. I mean, it doesn't have to be.
What's the ideal group size for you? What?
Well, I would think, not larger. I mean, the larger the group, the more
Yeah.
hassle it is to manage.
Right.
So, 10,
Okay. So
would
when
be
you
a
talk
good
about
group
that,
size,
for 10
more or
as a
less.
group size, and what's the price range of the trips?
Well, I'm thinking to go, so far, I wouldn't make it for any less than, 10 days would be the minimum time
Okay,
frame.
10 days. And this is all getting clearer and clearer. We've got 10 gay dentists on a 10-day trip. Right. And what else?
And as far as the price point, well, the price
I
point.
can't wait till you read the comments on other marketing.
No, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's it could be.
Hey, the gay market is a great market,
Okay.
because they have a lot of money. I just remember.
Yeah.
Actually, I used to bartend at a gay club in Laguna Beach. But
And you want to hear
that's
something
another
funny?
story.
I freaking had a friend that used to bartend. He was totally straight dude, and he would bartend at a gay bar because he would meet more women there than anywhere else.
And the only straight guy in the place. They're
Yeah.
like, you're not straight. Oh yeah, I want to bet.
So keep going.
This
10
is
days.
hysterical.
10-day trip.
10-day trip, and I'm thinking a $10,000 price point would
$10,000
be right on,
Right.
because as Joe was saying, and you know what, I looked at your video that you had with the Neiman Marcus example, and going through the brochure, and I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I'm a subscriber to Success Magazine, but I hadn't listened to the DVD yet. I popped it in the car on the way over here, so I just started hearing Dan Kennedy talk about what you were saying.
Right.
And anyhow, so at that price point, I can really deliver a high quality experience.
Sure.
And that's what I want to sell, is not the travel to go see a place and so, well, I've been there, done that, I got a t-shirt.
Right.
I
Could it
want
be
to
better
create
for
the
$12,000?
It could be
Yeah.
even better for
Right.
12,000. Yeah,
Right.
but I'm thinking the minimum would be 10 days at 10 grand.
Okay.
And it could go up from there.
Yeah.
But I can, with that, there's enough margin to create a very unique experience
Right.
that they will just never forget.
Right.
It will be talked about for
And
years.
that's the kind of thing, but you can design that experience ahead of time.
Right.
You can think that through, you're
Right.
creating that dream come true. So
Right.
now, what you've got now, and I mean, you can adjust this, or you can go on and choose other markets, because ultimately, you're looking for a small group of people. So
Right.
out of all the dentists in California, or what, you can even narrow it down to a specific area. You're just looking for 10 gay dentists in California who like adventure travel.
Right.
And you're gonna create this incredible experience for them, and you can design that experience ahead of time. Now you can go back and do the work of seeing, how am I gonna compel those people to identify themselves as somebody who's interested.
Right.
And when they raise their hand that they're interested in something, and we talked about these Fisher Investments ads that they're on Island Marketing right now, that just simple headlines. I mean, what's the conversation that's going on in the mind of a gay dentist who likes adventure travel that would stop him and compel him to call?
Dean, don't you already know the answer to
Or-
this? I do even need to ask, come on.
But then when they call and educate and motivate them to meet you, what kind of package, what kind of experience could you put together that you would mail them that would highlight the whole thing? I mean, that would really make that trip come to life for them, that would motivate them to want to book the calendar, to make it, and a lot of times when you package things up and you're not making it open-ended or anything like that, if you pick certain dates that you've already got,
Right.
even though you haven't booked anything or done anything, but if you pick suggested dates, and people are going to choose from, they start looking on the calendar and choosing from the dates. Maybe there's a specific time of year that's the best time to do this
Right.
trip. Maybe it's a certain amount of lead-in time that it needs. How long does it take for you to? What would be the ideal amount of planning time? And
Minimum 3 months.
Okay, so that's the thing. So they're looking maybe 4, 5, 6 months out to pick that this is where the trip's going to be. If you make that trip kind of come to life for them, there we go.
You ready?
What do you think? I'm ready.
Give them an
You're ready
umbrella,
for the gay
give them
beach
an
in
umbrella
Brazil.
hat with every inquiry.
happy gay.
Right.
But those are the kind of things that when they look at this, it's really, that's how you can apply those profit activators, But it absolutely has to start with selecting that single target market.
Right. And and I know that, especially like what Joe was talking about, is picking that microcosm of people or what have you, and going deep, and then getting momentum in that
Yeah.
market
Right.
space and creating some momentum and success, and then okay, now I got it down, and I just copy and paste for this market. Just
Yeah, I mean, it
tweak
could be.
tweak it a little.
There's a
bit.
great company that does Scotland golf trips called Perry Golf. And I've gone on 3 different trips to Scotland with them, but they have, the highest end trips around, and they've got these custom coaches that are like private jets inside kind of thing. They've got, facing club seating, 8 people is the ideal thing. You have a driver, and you literally, you get off the coach and you go to your tee time. You never touch your golf clubs. You never do. I mean, getting everything ready. You show up on the tee and everything's ready. Your hotel, all your bags are checked into the hotel for you, all that stuff. It's like a luxury.
First class experience.
It is, but you put together your own 8 guys, and you go on this trip, and so it could be that same kind of thing if you start, because once you go through all the research of packaging a specific trip, it's like you can recreate that trip. Seems like you might enjoy kind of the artistry of crafting what the trip is going to
Oh
be.
yeah, I've done so many. I love it. And each one is just, has worked out great. I know the lay of the land, and I speak the languages.
Right, and that could be something that you get back. That trip, you get that one packaged up, and
Yeah, you could almost write
do
just,
it again
just
and
a
again
book
and
on
again.
how to, just, either like a cool lifestyle book or something on how to, rejuvenate yourself for entrepreneurs, or, how to, expand your mind and gain perspective with these sort of trips. I mean, so I would definitely put together a series of videos, and I would start putting stuff out there and see what niche categories, start lead generating for identify a single target market, and then
But I
see.
would think, and often, you can get in front of people who are searching on those keywords.
Pat, you had a comment or a question?
Yeah, well, I guess one question that I would probably ask is, you want to go after these entrepreneurs, people with money. Which ones do you like working with the most?
Well,
I mean, do you like working with real estate agents? Do you like working with marketers? I mean, which ones do you like working with the most? Maybe those are the ones to start targeting after.
Okay, dentists.
Well,
that's what
Okay,
they
so that's what you said the most.
I got a great idea for you, like a trip with Dean Jackson and 10 other gay dentists limited. Literally mastermind with him the entire time in a hot tub.
yeah, trunks optional.
I don't know if this is going to be one of the most weirdest I Love Marketing episodes on the planet.
Select the single target market.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No, to me it would be just you like to go on these trips, and what people would you like to be on the trips with?
Well, like-minded, people that I can resonate with as well. Which I've been in real estate. I've been a realtor, and the last couple of years since I've been back from South America, I've made a point to connect with a lot of marketers, and that's how kind of like we knew each other by proxy, Renee and I, because we have a lot of familiar connections in San Diego. So those are the people I'm more so connected to, and marketers that are offering different products in different markets, but marketers in the same way. But and I know so, but it doesn't have to be limited to those two. Markets.
If I was doing something like this, which is kind of what I already do. I mean, I go to lots of places that. One of the reasons I think I've been able to build like 25K and do some of the things that I do is because I just tend to get out of the typical world of most marketers. I mean, I go to TED-Med, I go to a lot of different places where I meet people. And if I was, once, I don't know what your cash flow situation is, to the degree that you could put yourself in situations where you're going to meet movers, people that could really move the dial for you. Like, for instance, where do you live?
Mesa.
Mesa, okay. Like, there's a company that Tony Shea, CEO of Zappos, told me about. He's one of the investors in it, and it's Jet Suites. Jet Suites. If you go to their Facebook page, Facebook Jet Suites, they are a private plane company, and you can 4 passengers at a time. It's a specific type of private plane, and they have daily deals where it's about $38.50 an hour to rent the private plane. So if you're going to fly somewhere, and but if
your jets, you mean?
I don't even know what kind of I don't even know what kind of plane it is, but it's a small one. But they're really cool, really brand new, totally badass. But I know nothing about airplanes, so to try to explain them, I look like more of an idiot than I already look like, saying I know nothing about planes. But every day they do daily deals where they fly out of certain cities to go pick up a passenger, and they give you a 24-hour notice, and you have to fly anywhere. It's $499 for the plane, and they will fly you to wherever they're going. And so, like the other day, it was like
because they got to get there.
They got to get there anyway. So if you're going to go from Scottsdale to Denver, or so, I think there was a trip from Scottsdale to Denver for $499, and you could literally
Private plane.
Private plane.
Wow.
And like I literally would organize, I would be watching them all the time, and I do JVs with them, and I would literally just hop on places and go, even if you're going to take a Southwest flight back, just so you can meet and get into that world where there's like, you know, I would go to things like, you know, South by Southwest and go and meet, you know, like Tim or wherever like people like Tim Ferriss are going to be, and you know, put the money in, you know, go to all things digital. I mean, go to these places where there's wealthy people that are workaholics that could really, you know, and just interact with them, because, you know, I mean,
It would be interesting too to maybe even think about building some of the elements of The Amazing Race into something like this, you know, where
That's a good
could-
idea.
right.
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, where you could package this thing where people come as a team.
Right.
And you
I
know
thought,
what
I
I
thought
mean?
about that, some team building
Mhm.
activities as
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
which is, you know, you're talking about competitions though.
But
Yeah.
it could, yeah, I mean, it could be that, elements like that, where you're going through the things that, you know, it's such a popular show.
That's true, The Amazing Race was like one of the biggest reality shows I think
Yeah,
radio.
it still is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
does that help?
Yeah, it does.
So what are you going to do now with this? So what's the
Yeah,
one
tell us
sentence
that.
solution?
Well, I need to identify my target, I believe,
Mhm.
and start with, because I do have a trip right now that I've updated about Florianopolis, about the experience I can give someone in Florianopolis. I mean, there's many more I can put up, but to identify the market or the person I want to talk to, and do some lead gen, like you were saying. Maybe, I don't know, would you suggest testing a couple different markets to see?
Yeah, because if nothing else, I would do, you know, just like me and Dee put out a podcast and just put stuff out there just to drive people to an opt-in page. You know, like I have that video, Is Selling Evil, you know, the one that's going all over the internet right now. I mean, we said I registered at sellingevil.com, and there's an opt-in box because I'm yet to figure out what the hell we're going to sell there, what we're going to do,
Right.
or if it's going to do nothing but to change the global conversation. But I'm always saying, okay, in order to develop what could become something, you might as well put a net out there to catch,
Right.
you know, to catch fish, and then see once you decide, yeah, I'm going to go down that road. So, I mean, like, how would you recommend doing that, Dean? Like, just, I mean,
Yannick doesn't do lead capture pages for what he does. He does it through the relationships that he has. Right?
yeah, well, see, he started Maverick Business Adventures as a marketer turned internet marketer to, you know, just like, well, let me figure out how to sell marketing stuff to people and simultaneously do the crap I want to do. I mean, he built that around his own personal interest and, you know, turned it into a business, as do many of us, you know. It's like
like me with this. you
Right,
know,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing what you know and trying to figure out how to monetize it. So,
Right.
you know, I mean, so, you know, I think if you look at guys that are doing something similar and you can, you know, work with them, I would, you know, I mean, even joining Maverick Business Adventures would probably be a smart move for you, because then Yannick is stuck with you for like 7 days and you're just like, look, dude, this trip sucks. And if you really want me to do it, no, but in all seriousness, I mean, it could be a smart idea for you to join things like Maverick Business Adventures and then, you know, do some trips for them. But yeah, I mean, narrow your niche and just start putting messaging out there and think about, I mean, you don't need a lot of clients in order to do well.
No, well, that-
No, I mean, this is more so just getting really clear and being as, you know, focused as possible, so you're not like, well, we can do this, we can, you know.
Right, well, which is how I have been, and I kind of, now I just, from all of what I've been observing the last couple of years, and now, you know, coming to meet with you guys and, you know, you just making a strong point on, you know, really narrowing your focus, and so that's where I'm at. And
Sit down this week and either record a sales letter for a target market, even if you're not.
an opt-in and a sales video, like an opt-in and a sales page.
I'm
Like create
almost
one
like-
apart from the website.
Say you're going to go on, you had your first and only opportunity to go on Oprah 2 weeks from now.
Mhm.
And you had 20 minutes to go on Oprah and make a case.
Mhm.
What the hell would you say?
Right.
Now, if people put themselves in the situation to where they had to perform and they had to have their message right, and this was their one opportunity, you know what? People would scramble, they'd block all the time they need, they get their shit down. But because life doesn't typically give you that sort of pressure, most people just don't get around to it. And I mean, how many times have we told people, write a sales letter, sit down and write a sales letter, sit down and record, you know, a video, sit down and record your pitch, and everyone's like, yeah, I gotta do it, and we'll go month after month, and some people will never do it. And you're like, well, but the moment they get something where they're forced to do it, they do it, and then they're like, thank God I did it, and then all of a sudden it just clarifies. It's the thing that Vern Harnish, you know, the guy that wrote the Rockefeller Habits, when I interviewed him, he said, you know, entrepreneurs say they work well under pressure. He's like, that's not true, it's just under pressure, they just work. And so you just manufacture a pressure situation, even if it's not real, to force you to hone it down, and you will. So say, for instance, a week from now, Dean's gonna show up at your house, and if you do not have a narrowly defined target market, along with a sales pitch, along with an opt-in page, along with a sticklet, I mean, everything, and if you don't have that done, you literally get shot. You would get that shit done this week.
Right.
So my whole thing, to the best of your ability, just do that.
Right.
Just do everything. And even if it ends up not being, you know, the thing that's the hardest thing, even if it ends up not being this, the process of going through it will set the stage. You know, like if you've never baked cookies before, but you know, you want to bake cookies, and you hear about people baking cookies and blah, 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 and you just go into the kitchen one day and make a total mess. It's like anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. And the worst batch you're ever going to make is the first batch. And the second worst, you know, it's like the worst sales letter you're ever going to write is the first one. The worst video you're ever going to, and the second worst one is the second one. But after a while, you're like, damn, I kind of got it narrowed down. Yeah, people are responding. Yeah, this ad didn't work here, but this one over here pulled. And it's just going out there and just doing it. It's that level of movement that is so critical to just, you know, the startup, you know. It's like Stephen Pressfield says in The War of Art, you know, for the artist or the writer, it's not the writing that's hard, it's the sitting down to write. You know, people just don't sit down and write. And so if you just, you know, like there's a great book, and I know I'm on a tangent, but screw it. There's a book called One Small Step. And it's about it's about Kaizen, you know, the Japanese, you know, continual improvement thing. We actually have a book downstairs called iPower, great book on Kaizen. And in One Small Step, it's like getting people just to do it. It's when people say, you know, I need to start exercising. So one of the things in the book is that you, if you have a treadmill at home, or you have to you literally go to the gym, or if you have one at home, and you, for the first week, you literally go to the treadmill, you put on a 1-minute timer, and you just stand on the treadmill. You don't walk, you just stand on it. And you do that for a week, and then like don't even try to, you know, just stand on it. And what happens, and it usually doesn't take a week, once someone gets on the damn treadmill, what do? They start walking. Yeah. And it's like, it's one of those things, if you say, you know, if people are like, oh, I gotta write a sales letter, oh, I gotta record this, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, it's like, you know, just block 20 minutes tomorrow and say, I'm gonna write a headline and a pre-head in the first sentence. And you know what, I'm gonna give myself, guess what, they'll start doing it, and that's what you need. So if you say, you know, I'm gonna select a single target market, like tomorrow, can you devote 20 minutes tomorrow to go to a coffee shop or a library? Just 20 minutes, and go and work on the things we said here, and just do that 3 times this week. Just devote an hour this week, and come back to the I Love Marketing Meetup group, which I won't be at next week, but just come to it and report where you're at, and I bet you're gonna be like, the clarity is just gonna fall into place. And as much as we say stuff like that, me and Dean say that to people all the time, most people still won't do it. It's just bizarre to me, you know, but hopefully you will.
On that note, as far as creating the opt-in page and the sales letter, which optimized press is a good option. I don't know what you like as far as.
You'd be better asking me.
WordPress is easy.
Just
yeah.
WordPress.
Sure.
Yeah. Just any particular template that you like, or.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it really is about just getting the going through the mechanics of getting it done.
Where's that?
And
you know
somebody
what's
can
so
do
funny?
that for you. I mean, you can find somebody who can do that for you for very little money. You know.
Fiverr.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Odesk, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just don't worry about that.
I got
Design it on paper. Do you know how to do
Oh
it?
yeah, I
or-
manage my website.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I'm familiar with WordPress.
Let's just put up a page.
Oh,
on
check
your
this out.
website.
So Matt Mullenweg, who owns WordPress, I've been trying to get him to come and do a short speech in New York for my New York event. He's like, it might be tricky to make it out. This was 2 days ago. Make it out east. Did you have a particular topic in mind? And I wrote, Matt, maybe I'll have you talk about Typepad and Blogger and why they're superior to WordPress. What do you think of those topics? And he's like, we could list all the reasons. It'd be a short talk. Just funny. It's pretty funny. It's a little funny.
Well, he's the founder of.
He's the founder of WordPress.
Oh, okay. That went right over my head.
No,
Oh,
but
that's funny.
yeah, no, just get started. You know,
Okay.
it's like the Dave Kekich thing. You know, attack life.
Right,
Just like,
right.
Go
Well, as
for it.
far as the trip written out, I have a post already done, but I didn't attach a price tag to it yet. You know, but another thing that was brought up as far as people, you know, using their credit card to buy such a high ticket item online. It happens. It happens,
Mhm.
right? So I guess.
Hey, you remember the story I told about the most expensive mattress?
Yeah.
You know, the people are doing $26,000 mattresses, and
Yeah.
90% of the sales come online.
Right.
The people just call up and say, "Sell me the most expensive one."
Are we over time?
I think we are. Yeah. This will be the one hot seat session. There was a book years ago. I think the guy died, and it was a real old man somewhere here in Arizona. I don't think what town it was. He had the one bookstore.
Right.
And people, and it was a tourist town. It's here.
Wickenburg.
What city was that?
Wickenburg?
Was it Wickenburg?
Item somewhere
Oh,
within-
what?
Well, the older guy, and he wrote, and he was getting like, he was on like 2020 or something. He got like national news media, and people would go, you know, they would drive by, and they would go in this bookstore, and it was the one bookstore, and the name of the book was Mama and Me, right? Me and Mama. It was Mama and Me or Me and Mama. And like people going, and on all the shelves, it was nothing but this one book.
No way.
And so the guy was very successful because people had they didn't have to decide. You know, you go and it's like what we were saying, you know, with this 250 things versus
Right.
like one report. You know, when you see if you have 1,000 options, you don't have any options.
Right.
And that's the challenge. And that's why when you select a single target market, you're making a choice. And then this guy is so funny. Then he ended up writing a second book, like Me and My Brother, or Johnny and Me, or something crazy. It's like about his brother. And then I remember the news guy saying, "Well, what's he going to call it now? The two-book bookstore?" But it was like, yeah. So I would actually, you know,
That is so funny.
what's that?
That's great.
Yeah. Honestly, God, I think it's a great idea to knock off. You pick. I mean, why not? You know, the one book bookstore. You just take any book, put it anywhere where there's a high traffic item. You know, even if you literally got a little area in a mall, and just like, you know, one bookstore and just sold any, I just think that would work.
Everybody would go in just to see what the book is.
No, I mean, you know, I think Barnes and Noble and all the big bookstores are gonna be out of business because they have like 1,000 books, but you have one book. That's it. You know, one book.
There we go.
So come
Right
up
now,
with your.
I just got one trip posted right now. You're going to do many. So.
Yeah.
So
Well,
now you have to tell us.
it's
But
one.
it's a trip that can offer so much.
Mhm.
So that's why I chose.
One trip that can offer so much. I like that.
There you go.
Actually, you could work on a headline around that. One trip that offers so much. You know, why go and try to do these things when you can just go on one trip? I went to a bookstore in where was it? In Phoenix. It's no longer there anymore. It was a 12-step bookstore where they sold recovery books. And I just go in there one day and I'm like, "Do you have any books for people that?" And I said this jokingly because I'm always talking shit all the time. And I said, "Do you have any books for people that are addicted to books?" And she's like, "As a matter of fact, we do." And I'm like thinking, what? So she goes and she finds this book called Biblioholism. I got it downstairs. And it's like, yeah, and it's like, and it says on the back that if you have a compulsion and an addiction to buying, consuming, and trying to read large quantities of books, your problem can be solved. All you need is one more book. And I was like, this is just fantastic. So, there we go. All right, so to our lovely audience, what was the takeaway from this? What are your thoughts and insights after having gone through this? What are your thoughts?
Target your niche, find out what your niche is, focus on it. and
Did you see how much easier it was when we started narrowing it down?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's easy to plan a trip for gay dentist adventure travelers.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
that's
thinking
not
the whole
one.
too much. It's
No, we
like
don't
going
have
back
to
to that
talk.
1,000 different things.
I have 3 referrals for you, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're right there.
So
Yeah, you know what's so funny? Yeah, there. I actually, yeah, I won't even say. 'Cause- all right, so what about you, Kim? What'd you get out of this?
That was the same, just targeting it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you, Amber?
I think that was the main point.
All right.
Just like once you know what your target market is, then like Dean said, it's easier to go from there.
Cool. What about you?
Look at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Rebecca. And then we'll
It's
go
a
to Al.
wise man that shows up in an environment that have the resources for you to just pull out your phone and dial the person that he needs
Right.
to connect with. I mean, that's really cool, and that goes along with Joe suggesting, put yourself in places that resources can, expand even more.
Yeah.
So you know.
Thank you, Alex.
Definitely targeting #1, and I think action above all. Taking the steps and actually doing it, and feeling really uncomfortable about it, but knowing the process, because the second time around is going to be better.
Yeah, awesome. And Jamie or Renee, which one of you has the smartest thing to say? Which one of you has the best
Maybe
feedback?
SP, so let's
Let's-
it's really fast.
So what do you think? Look at this, they're collaborating.
We have the We same
actually-
answer.
All right, what's the same answer? Go ahead.
Can you use the bathroom
Who's the
first?
spokesman? Yeah.
Simplifying things and taking action. It doesn't need to be a big production. It's even almost like narrowing your niche with taking action. Like, I'm just gonna sit right here at the computer screen and type out the headline, instead of trying to plan out something more extravagant.
Yeah.
And then I would say put it on the calendar. Schedule.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then people can actually, because you not only you narrow the niche, but you narrow the time frame when that niche can travel, and you actually think people can put it on the calendar. So schedule it. That puts you on the line. It puts your clients on the line. Put it on the calendar.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, if there was no such thing as a deadline, nothing would ever get done.
Yeah. There's no urgency. As soon as you put it on the
It's
calendar.
interesting now to start thinking about your year, next year, of what trips you'd like to do.
Well, that's the thing, because I know all these different places that I love in South America that throughout the year have different special events going on in different parts of the year, and I like to tie that in with the trip,
Yeah, and Landmark Forum always says your Landmark Forum doesn't begin when you show up, it begins when you sign up, right? And that's what happens. When we sign up for a trip, that's when our imagination really starts going. That's when you're engaged. And so you can do a whole entire engagement process that just leads them up to that event. If they've scheduled a year out, you can just send these reminders, hey, don't forget. Can't wait to have you. You send, I think I did Gap Adventures or one of those travel with, you get a group travel together. I think we sailed the Greek islands, and they were sending out passports in the mail, like phony passports, here's your boarding pass, a month or two in advance. It was great.
That's interesting. I was thinking about what you guys were talking about as far as doing something in advance, pay it forward. And I thought, man, maybe setting them a set of Havaianas, the Brazilian flip-flops, once they,
That's great.
they signed up, so they had, and a Brazilian keychain.
Man, I would use that even before they sign up.
Right.
Yeah.
Just as a
It's great.
Reciprocity.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Your educated,
Luggage
motivated
tags.
package.
What's
How
that?
would you know what size?
Yeah, luggage tag.
You need a keychain?
Oh,
Actually,
no, the Havaianas are flip-flops. It's a good point. I'd have to find out their size.
Or you could send them, like Joe said the other day, you can send them one, right? When you sign up for your trip, you get the other, right? Like, I just want to get my foot in the door, I'm going to suggest it.
Here's one for, I like that. I like
Right,
that.
so I mean,
That could be a really good opt-in thing. Get you free flip-flops, give me your size and your email or something
That
like that.
is.
Oh, huh?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could even do a
And the
weekly
business
drawing.
man
For every week we're gonna, you put your shoe size and that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know when you put those Havaianas on, you just want to be on the beach in Brazil.
Yeah.
I'll take a pair.
That's
There
great.
you go. Wow.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Was this helpful?
Absolutely, yeah, thank you guys. It was the synergy I needed, for sure.
Excellent. All right, thank you very much. So, yeah, that's it. That's a wrap, right, Dean?
That's a wrap.
Well, before we wrap, Lynn and Annette wanted to give Dean a very special gift.
Oh, Hello Kitty mints.
Well, it's a Hello Kitty in a devil outfit, so for your evil lair.
Oh,
so you
wow.
can cuddle up
Scheme
your
hatchery.
evil scheme hatchery.
hatchery.
You can
It's
cuddle up in
evil
your
lair.
I like it.
You can cuddle up in your Hello Kitty blanket that Joe gave you.
There we go.
And with your Hello Kitty wallet. And there you go.
Wait, tell the story here, then we'll end I Love Marketing. Because we got this on video. Do you have your wallet on you?
I do have my wallet.
Okay, now let me tell the story.
No.
So Dean used to, from Pulp Fiction, they have a wallet that says bad mofo.
That's my little kitty
So
wallet.
tell the story. Tell the story.
Well, here's the thing. So for years, I had that Pulp Fiction wallet. You guys know the one I'm talking about. So it said bad. And for years, I would carry that around. And as soon as I saw this Hello Kitty wallet, I had an epiphany. And I thought to myself, you know what? That wallet says it, but this one demonstrates it. It says it without saying it, you know? And so I've been carrying this one around. I gave one to Ed Dale, to Frank Kern, to a bunch of people are having the Hello Kitty wallet. But you pull this out at Starbucks, right? Where's the conversation started? The other wallet, people, they would avert their eyes, you know? They would see it and they're like, oh, and they'd avert their eyes. But this one is, it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are bad.
Yeah. So there you go. Good night, everybody.
Yep, thank you.